Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today we have some big updates on the Jack Eichel situation with the Buffalo Sabres, and it's a situation that has gotten much worse over the past 48 hours. Now, there's been a ton of Jack Eichel news, ranging from the Buffalo Sabres' stance on him, whether we'll actually see a trade, what teams are interested, and if we will see a trade this upcoming season. Now, when it comes to Jack Eichel, there's been a lot of trade rumors, and we're going to be breaking them down all in today's video, so make sure you watch till the end for every single one of those, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new. 60% of the people that are watching are not subscribed. If you like Goggy, this channel is the place to be, and without further ado, let's get straight into this. Now, the Jack Eichel situation has been a mess no matter how you look at it. From every single perspective, it seems like a loss for every single side here. Unless a team is able to trade for Eichel and somehow get him healthy for at least a chunk of the season, it seems like almost everybody in this situation loses, and that's been a continuous thing throughout this offseason. We were expecting Jack Eichel to be traded right after the season, maybe even during the playoffs, and this was a guy that could have been traded as early as that, but we were expecting an off-season trade that really never came. Now we're into training camps, and the Buffalo Sabres have also started their training camps, and everybody is now underway for the season. Meanwhile, Jack Eichel, Kevin Adams, and the Buffalo Sabres are still completely unsure on what to do right now, but we've had a lot of news over the past 24 hours on the Buffalo Sabres taking some action into their own hands, trying to do something, and that something is not trading him, but instead doing a bunch of useless stuff that doesn't matter in the end. The Buffalo Sabres have still not traded Jack Eichel, and it seems like a trade might not even happen at all. Now, to give you guys the breakdown on the rumors and the news, it first started to come up with Elliotte Friedman's New 32 Thoughts with one of the first paragraphs that he actually had, where he said this: "I heard there were a few trade talks a couple of weeks ago, but I think people want to see what the doctors say. As you can expect, there was a ton of frustration. Eichel was hoping to be recovered from disc surgery by now, and another player said not to underestimate what playing in the Olympics would mean to him. But the Sabres are unhappy too, with the promise of an Eichel era completely dissipated and hard feelings about how things fell apart. Really a shame for everyone involved." And that is just a crushing blow once again to the whole Jack Eichel situation. I mean, yes, it is a shame for everyone, and especially as a Team USA fan, to not have Jack Eichel in the Olympics would really suck. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm so frustrated, but it just seems like there's just a standstill, and it's just continued to be a standstill now even into the NHL season, and it seems like nobody wants to budge on their stances, and they want to just make it worse for everybody involved. I feel like the situation could have been resolved months ago, but now we're into almost October with no answers whatsoever. Now, we did get some big information this morning, and this was a big flow of news, because the Buffalo Sabres haven't traded him, and it doesn't look like they're going to, but they at least have done something, I guess. The only reason, though, they're having to do this is because they have waited this long to actually move him, but they did a few things this morning. Kevin Adams did have a press conference to start training camp, and he did a few things. First things first, Jack Eichel went to training camp and failed his physical. That is what was pretty much inevitable. Now we know that is the case. He will be on the injured reserve to start out this season. But we also got confirmation that Jack Eichel was removed from his captaincy, which was the big rumor thing by Elliotte Friedman, by others, that Jack Eichel gets stripped of that C. That has officially happened, and the Buffalo Sabres are technically moving forward. Now, Kevin Adams, in that same press conference, also had a quote that I think was pretty interesting surrounding the Jack Eichel situation and him getting stripped of his captaincy, where Kevin Adams said this: "I feel the captain is the heartbeat of your team. I felt we needed to address that." And I feel like this quote just makes me more sad than anything, because Jack Eichel should have been the heartbeat of the team. He should have been the captain and the leader on the team, and although it hasn't worked so far when he actually has played in Buffalo, sure, this situation should have been resolved already. You shouldn't have to strip your captain of his captaincy, have him come into training camp, fail his physical. He was already miserable. Now he's going to be even more miserable on top of that, and have this whole situation circulate, and have all the questions of the Buffalo Sabres now still again being about Jack Eichel. To me, I get the solution of stripping his captaincy, but if you wanted to remove distraction, you would have traded Jack Eichel already. Instead of having this percolating situation that continues to exist, Jack Eichel still is not traded, and you still don't have any surgery plan on him whatsoever. You want to remove distraction? Do something about it. Instead of actually just removing his captaincy and putting a band-aid on the situation, get him to a doctor, get him to a hospital, because Jack Eichel desperately needs it. Trade the guy already to a team that'll give him the surgery that he wants, which, again, from everything I've seen, is a surgery that will work for Jack Eichel, in my opinion. Make it happen. If you don't want to have distractions, well, you failed that already. And again, most of the questions given to Kevin Adams were about Jack Eichel. It's going to be a distraction on the Buffalo Sabres season, whether he likes it or not. Kevin Adams, if he didn't want distractions, should have traded him already. Now, I am totally biased as a person that wants to see Jack Eichel traded, but it's not because I don't want to see the Buffalo Sabres get something great in return or have actual success. I just want to see one of the best American players, one of the best players in general in this game, be healthy and be a star. I mean, we're heading into an ESPN deal of the NHL, a TNT deal of the NHL that are so crucial to hockey's popularity over these next few years. And you have one of the best American players, if not the second best American forward or player in general, on the IR, not healthy, and not traded at all. That, to me, is an absolute mistake. And if I was the NHL, I'd be looking at this situation trying to get something done, because one of my catalyst American players isn't even playing and really has no real clear-cut plan to play this next season. I mean, we're going to go into this training camp and maybe even this season with no clear-cut answer. And this surgery, whether he gets fusion or not, would take a big chunk out of this next season. So even if he got the surgery right now, he would still miss things like the Olympics and even the start of the season, and would only really be in the second half for a team that ends up trading for him or acquires him. But we could see the situation going into even next year, and that, to me, would be the absolute biggest mistake. And when it comes to Buffalo, it just, again, reinforces that they should have traded him back early this offseason. It would have been the perfect situation to trade him at the draft. Buffalo wants to get as many first-round picks as possible. He would have probably gotten a couple of them at least, and gotten an actual feasible trade back. Now, Jack Eichel's continue to be disgruntled. His trade value is completely diminished. Buffalo really has no leverage whatsoever, and they just continue to grind this situation out into an absolute pulp. To me, it's been a mistake on both sides to continue this situation and even have the situation as a thing going into this next season. It's going to be a distraction for Buffalo, and it's going to be a distraction for everybody. We're still going to be talking about Jack Eichel going into 2022 probably, and that, to me, is just horrible. It's a shame how this situation has been handled. It's a travesty how it's been handled. Honestly, we deserve an actual a solution as hockey fans here, because this is one of the best players in the game, and he should be playing in 2022. He should have been fully healthy for this season. Instead, we got this pile of crap that we have to look at and just be absolutely disgusted with. And some of you guys have even asked me, what would a Jack Eichel trade look like at this point? And I don't know. I have no clue what the Buffalo Sabres would even possibly get back for Jack Eichel at this point. I mean, again, one of the main reasons why I think Jack Eichel could have gotten a lot of value at the draft was that he could have been fully healthy for training camps and the 2022 season, which would have been crucial. But now it seems like he's going to miss a big chunk, if not all, of the 2022 season. And after this season, he's only going to have 4 years left instead of 5 years left on his contract, which I think does affect the value. I mean, we're talking about teams like the New York Rangers, teams like the LA Kings, teams that want to take that next step. I feel like they could have made a deal work, and I get it why Buffalo doesn't want to mess up a Jack Eichel trade, but they worried so much about actually messing up a Jack Eichel trade that they messed the whole situation up without even trading him. That, to me, is just mind-blowing. They were so worried about doing that they never trade him and let the whole situation become an absolute disaster. It was a waiting game that turned out to be an absolute just disappointment and mistake by the Buffalo Sabres. At this point, I mean, I don't even know if they should trade him. This is kind of the weird situation where now it seems like why even bother at this point? His value is completely diminished. He's not going to be ready for 2022, most likely, and any team trading for him would have to make big adjustments in training camp with their team now. It's just a complete mistake that Buffalo's let this go on as long as it has, and hasn't even reportedly let down their trade price. There is no way now with training camp and the season starting that any NHL team would pay Buffalo what they want, especially how disgruntled Jack Eichel is with that situation, with that surgery. No team wants to trade an absolute boatload for a player that will only play in the second half of this next season. They would love to have Jack Eichel to start, but now Buffalo's messed it up, and that's probably not going to end up happening. But we did hear in the past that Buffalo did want 4 first-round picks, and obviously if they're still thinking they can get that for Jack Eichel, they are absolutely crazy, if not even more on top of that. But at this point, I mean, I still could see like 2 first-round picks being exchanged in a Jack Eichel trade, but it just feels like at this point it's ran its course, it's been driven into the ground, and now we're just we're basically doing the waiting game a second time now, heading into this next season. And I just want to get this situation resolved as soon as seemingly possible. I think you guys would definitely agree on that. Besides Sabres fans, I think. I don't even know how you guys feel. I just feel sad for Sabres fans in general. But I just feel like this situation, I just want to see a resolution as soon as possible. I don't even care if he gets traded to Arizona or just a random NHL team. I could care less. As long as his situation gets handled and Jack Eichel is healthy at some point this next season, I think that would be fantastic. I've already given up hope in him playing on the Olympic team, and I was looking so forward to this 2022 Olympics for Team USA, especially with players actually going and NHL players being there. You could have had Matthews and Jack Eichel as your top 2 center core. I think this had the potential to be the best USA team we have ever seen in the Olympics, at least when it comes to NHL players being there, and that potential might have been squandered. They still have some great players at the second line center spot, but nobody that could reach the level of Jack Eichel. So in that case, I'm the most mad as a Team USA fan that we had to go through this, and it's going to be a situation going into 2022. I mean, again, we're talking about distractions. There is going to be so much talk about Jack Eichel during the 2022 Olympics, and if the USA end up failing again, I think it's going to be a really big topic that will be a distraction for Buffalo, will be a distraction for the NHL, will be a distraction for the Olympics and everything. I'm just so mad about how this situation has come, and I'm just hoping and begging that we actually get an answer soon. Please, it is all I want right now, Buffalo. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this rant of emotions, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Calming myself down here, make sure you comment down below your thoughts in the comments section down below, and let me know what you guys think about this Jack Eichel situation. What do you think about the new updates, and what do you think about this situation once again continuing to percolate? Let me know all your thoughts. Make sure you share this video with your friends, get it to any hockey fans you know online or in real life, and make sure you click on this card for all my news content right on playlist. My name is Nathan. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.